Good to have you,
President
Kevin.
Bill, thank you.
You bet.
Okay, so we want to start out by saying thank you and acknowledging President Bill for your leadership and recognizing the value of a strategic plan. And thank you personally for choosing me the honor of being able to be the presenter and the committee person. I want to say Jewel, Carol Ann, Al, and Stephanie's not here. Could you please stand? And we want to give you a round of applause and thank you. And a special thank you to Paige. This would not be possible if it's not for Paige. So she's done a great job. We had fun on our strategic plan. When we started, I love this quote. I love the legacy of Vince Lombardi from so many ways. Gentlemen, this is a football. So hope is not a strategy. So you got to have a plan. And we worked a plan. We started with a team building exercise. I don't have the book with me, do I? Yes. Dr. Mark Morgan, Jonas's father-in-law. If there's any value or success in anything that I was able to do, it was Dr. Mark Morgan's training and process that I went through with him. We started with some team building exercises. We recognized that this is a collaboration in spirit. Despite differences in tastes and preferences, we all come together with individual styles of making pizzas, but yet they all tasted good, didn't they? And we had a friend who made us a pizza thing. So the other assignment that we did, I handed this to Al Leonard. Remember Al? And I said, Al, describe this for me. And he did a really good job. But what he didn't know is this was made for my son Kyle when he was 5. Construction industry has lean years. And I handmade this toy. Plastic ones are gone, but hey, that one's still here, right? So it was made after my dad's HD20 bulldozer, Alice Chalmers. And when my brother and I were kids, we used to ride up on the side battery boxes on a warm summer day as my dad would push dirt down a hill. So it's part of that which represents that we learn more about each other, not just what's on the surface, but what's the rest of the story. And by the way, we're telling your story, our story. Mission, we wanted to start in our strategic planning process. What are the basics? Again, with a football. Mission statement of the New Smyrna Beach Rotary Club is to promote ethical leadership, professionalism, success, and friendship among club members through service in our community and around the world. You gotta have a foundation, mission statement. Paige is gonna do us the honors of reading the vision statement.
The Rotary Club for New Smyrna Beach's vision statement is, the Rotary Club of New Smyrna Beach is the service organization of choice that serves its members' needs and has with dynamic, action-oriented service projects which improve the lives of the New Smyrna Beach community and other communities in the world. We provide service to others, promote integrity, and advance the world understanding, goodwill, and peace through our fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. Rotary International vision. Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves.
Carol Ann was kind enough in one of our meetings to realign us with the 7 areas of focus for Rotary International. And we see many of our projects, fundraisers, activities, having to make sure that we're touching on one of these 7 areas of focus. Where to begin? Ta-da! So we started as we were led by the Rotary International's handbook in our strategic planning. Let's talk about our challenges, right? Because you got to figure out where you're at. Retain members, strengthen camaraderie, projects, committee structure, funding, low participation, community awareness. This was done by the surveys that you all participated in, and we really took an honest assessment of that and recognized the value. Some of you might recognize the guy who posed in this photo right here. This is our own Bill Hall. He's one of our members of strength in our little organization. We have a rich history of serving New Smyrna Beach with an impeccable reputation of excellence. RI is an international organization that has great brand awareness. We've got fiscal responsibility, membership, wisdom, experience, and commitment. There's that membership. We always come back to that because ultimately you all are the most important part of this organization. Through our strategy, one of our programs that I'm excited about is our baseball card initiative. You might have heard about this. We want stats on each of you. So when I meet Neil at the table, maybe Neil and I have never talked before, instead of Neil giving me a business card or giving me a rundown, he's like, hey brother, here you go. Here's a baseball. This tells a bit about me and my history here in this club or in the community, whatever. We're going to personalize it to you. And beyond that, let's hear from Ken Burns.
Really important that history not be distilled to sort of the great men theory. All of those people that are famous don't do the fighting and the dying. The best history is the place where so-called ordinary people exist.
I love Ken Burns, and I love his style. And whether we can find a film student at Daytona State or somewhere to come up with this. But I love the story of Jerry Crum when he was talking about an 11-year-old on a Pennsylvania farm driving around a POW from Germany. I had a new relationship with Jerry, and I've known him for almost 30 years. That kind of conversation is part of the legacy that I want to leave for you all, for your grandchildren, for future leaders in your community. Because Rockin' Ray, God love him, we're praying for him, soon his conversation is going to be less poignant. I still want to preserve each and every one of our conversations in this club, in this community, and for your families. Fortunately, I had the wisdom years ago to sit my dad down and videotape many hours of his conversations. Only my dad, who is a great storyteller, could tell the story that he could tell with all the details. And through that, my grandchildren and great-grandchildren will hear from their grandfather, great-grandfather, whatever. You get the point. The point is that he passed away in 2015. I'll never hear from him in this world again, but I watch the videos and I hear from my dad. So that's what we want to hear from you. So I really feel that this is a great value to this club so that we can personalize the relationship, because after all, you are the new Smyrna Beach Rotary Club. What are the drivers? So in our assessment, we looked at, wow, what's this thing? Again, personal story. My dad had a flight on a Ford Tri-Motor. My grandfather, I think, paid 48 cents for the trip. But a Ford Tri-Motor is a unique airplane. All three motors have to be pulling together at the same horsepower and the same rate. Otherwise, you don't go nowheres, or you go somewhere bad fast. Membership, retaining your members and develop membership projects. We're going to talk more about the 6 W's next. That's important to us, that we have good quality projects, that they're uniform. As President Bill said, one of the things that I recognized when I started back with this organization was we would have pitches, dry pitches at a board meeting. And we started working as a committee trying to work out a fundraiser or a project. I was like, man, this is not the place to do this. So what kind of a strategy can we employ that can bring the best success potential to your project, so that you've got the best opportunity for success and fundraising? Because without fundraising, we don't go nowheres. What are the 6 W's? Well, what is it? What is the project? Elevator pitch. You got to get me real fast. I'm on the elevator with you. I got to hear what you want. I got to hear it fast. More details are in the report. Why are we doing this project? That's an obvious question. Are we going to build fly swatters? Well, why are we doing fly swatters? Well, it's got the Rotary name on it. No, I don't think it works. Who are we doing this for? Are we doing it for a member of the community, the Marine Discovery Center? Who's the project? Who's the focus of the project? Who will be involved? It's nice to know who are the players, who's on your team, who's going to constitute that project. Let's see, when are we doing this, start to finish? My background's construction primarily. We would have pre-construction meetings, and you would attend, and you would get your critical path. And that was the time in which you were to introduce assets to that job site. And if you didn't, you were going to hear all about it. And I feel the same way about this, is that it's very important. Projects fall apart, and I've been part of nonprofits all my life, is that projects fall apart when people don't know what pieces to put on the table and at what time to do that. The last one is, what is it going to cost? Ultimately, that's one of the board responsibilities, because you don't want a project flying out the door and then all of a sudden the costs just keep coming in and people don't understand. So we're going to go to some real life examples. First, we're going to talk about what the projects currently are. Now, don't be alarmed. There are 40 projects, but think of this as a bookshelf. It's you walk up to Jules' lending library and you pull a book out, and you're not going to read the next book until you read this one. So whether it's Ashley's Ride, Kuda's Unhooked, whatever project is, we're going to work with the 6 W's. We're going to perfect it if it's already an ongoing project, or we're going to introduce it as a new project with that as a backdrop. Speaking of Ashley's Ride, what is Ashley's Ride? Ashley's Ride is a safe ride for an important individual to an important destination. Why are we doing this? This project was born out of a very tragic circumstance. And who are we going to be doing this for? The individuals at the First Step Shelter. We're going to speak to the value of their lives. The Rotary Club is who's going to be involved in the annual budget. It's an ongoing project to be reevaluated every new board cycle. Project cost is $1,200, and we already have a report. 2 Ubers, 7 Lyfts, 2 taxis. You see, you're averaging about $10. There's about 30 some rides, so you're averaging about $10 a ride. Already getting testimonies back of people being conveyed to doctor's appointments or school and job interviews and the likes. This program's a success. I asked our brother Greg, he's not here, I asked him to lay down the 6 W's on cheeseburger, because Greg was like, okay, what's this you keep talking about? And I was like, listen, try this and see how it works for you. The report from Greg was very positive. He liked the format, and we can just go through these slides. You can read what is cheeseburger. It's going to be, and it's been ongoing for a long time. I'm not doing a lot of justice to this. Why are we doing this fundraiser? It's a low risk, high reward event. And who's going to be involved? This is, nope. Who are we doing it for? It's on the grounds of the Marine Discovery Center, our workshop. And it's the next one is
Who will be involved?
Who will be involved? It's the New Smyrna Beach Rotary Club negotiated a fee with Edgewater Rotary Club. Why do you keep hitting this? Anyways, based in the Individuals Marine Discovery Center, Daytona Culinary. All right, there we go. Saturday is when it's going to be. When are we doing it? Saturday, September 25th. 2 other potential dates. What is it going to cost? Well, it looks like it's going to cost $8,000. It's going to gross $33,000. So you've got a really easy math when it comes to that being a successful project. That is a fundraiser. So we're talking about 3 different style project fundraisers. Project was first Ashley's Ride. Second was a strict fundraiser. And this is a project that Stephanie has actually done. It's a pet house contest. And it's meant to be both a project and a fundraiser, and it is. What are we doing? The project is a pet house contest introducing students to design and build competition while partnering with business community organizations for a worthy cause. A group of students will design, engineer, and collaborate with the building of a unique pet house, and it would be auctioned off to raise money for local humane societies. There can be in multiple categories. Let's see, why are we doing this project? This contest aims to partner design, construction, and or trades, electrician, plumber, landscape companies, and organizations with a community in the local high school, students interested in entering STEAM programs. Who are we doing this for? These are designated funds. These are for the Humane Society. We'll encourage students to the STEAM. So it's that collaboration, so it's a lot of plates at the same time. Who's going to be involved? New Smyrna Beach Rotary Club, local businesses who wish to contribute monetarily, donate materials, sponsor students, supervise, monitor the building of the process. And when are we doing this? So we're going to kick it off in August, and the event will probably take place in February. Most likely it'll be a plated dinner here, and we can have a silent auction and get the community, a lot of pet lovers in our community. So that's one of our projects. And what's it going to cost? Material costs are covered by donations. Hidden Lakes has given us a good per plate dinner. Essentially out of pocket will be first prize $500, second prize $250, third prize will be $100. Total out of pocket will be $850. We feel that we can capture that back with a few portions of the fundraiser, plus deliver a good check to the Humane Society when we're done. 3 styles of fundraisers. Your signature event, we've talked about that with Cheeseburger. There might be the Beacon annual event. We've talked about that as well. Those are still sizing up. There could be a lemonade stand. Let's say Jonas wants to do a lemonade stand to fund the organization or whatever. So he applies the 6 W's and bingo, it's done. Designated fundraisers are much like the Pet House Project, so those funds are designated to the Humane Society. A committee. One of the conversations we had ongoing was the structure of a committee. A committee isn't one person. A committee of one person is simply an assignment. So what we came up with is the importance of a job description. If I start working tomorrow morning, even as a volunteer at Habitat, it's going to be important that I know my role within that organization, the things that they would like me to do. So in this case, we took each one of the major committees and we created a job description along with Rotary International's fundamentals when it came to things that you should do to encourage you. In addition, when the next he or she, president-elect nominee, who's found in your bylaws, takes over this committee around the end of the year, first of next year, they will have voluminous notes and handwritten stuff, all kinds of things that I have created in this process that I will pass on to that person, that they will then not have to start from scratch, but they will have a guide, sort of like, hey, this is the history. The same way best practices could be in a fundraising committee chairperson, so that when Michelle takes over, which she's going to soon, she's going to hear from Greg and things that he liked and didn't like, and she will then pass that on to the next person. So we feel that that's really important because it brings value to it. We talked about timelines early. We want a timeline for this. Within 30 days, we're going to continue to implement in furtherance of the membership drive, which is ongoing, and continue to enhance the membership experience. Refine a list of projects concurrent with the intentions of the new board in 60 days. Each project submitted conforming to the 6 W's. 90 days, we'll take a look at the shape of the drivers, membership, projects, and fundraisers. 6 months, we'll begin to evaluate the implementation of the strategic plan with guidance from the new chairs, program, fundraising, and can begin to look at establishing monitor mechanisms, measurements, and modification tools. And after 1 year, when we sit here together next year, as the report is read in, we're going to look at the evaluation, anticipation of a good work, and leading us to the beginning of a long-term strategy. In that, it won't work?
No, 3 years. You didn't do 3.
I did. That's the idea of strategic plan. Okay, let me do that again. The idea of the strategic plan is that is a living document. She never contradicts somebody who's working with you, particularly a lady who knows better. And a living document that continued to be measured, modified, and projected over the 3-year cycle. Thank you, Paige. Our 3 goals for this next 3 years, our goals for the next 3 years are membership, retain 80%, and growing the club to 55. That might adjust a bit. Outreach to consider research the need for a satellite and additional Rotary Club in the area. Fundraising, our signature project of $20,000 by the 3rd year, steady oak on the fire. And then we're going to look at having 20 projects. You already have almost 10 that are major or minor, so that's not huge, but it's something to work towards. The 3 M's, the M&Ms. We're going to monitor, measure, modify, and you see this symbolically, just continues to rotate. And that's part of a living document, is that you continue to look at this document both as a group and as individuals and say, wow, I think we need to change this. Talk to your board, whatever, your strategic planning group. As your strategic plan committee, we present this final report. And I know you all thought I would never get it done. Thanks to all the individuals. You've had a chance to review, and I understand Jerry mentioned that some people weren't able to get the zip file or whatever open. We'll make sure that you get that. And we're going to have a little surprise. Charles and I are going to have a little surprise for you at the end here. So at this point, do we have any questions, comments?